Namaskar. I've always been speaking for women's rights because that is who I am, and I've seen certain sections of the society oppress and suppress women. पर आज का टाइटल कुछ अलग है. Today we are going to be talking about the men and boys of the society because इस society ने men और boys को भी नहीं छोड़ा. Namaskar once again. This is Dr. Vani Sood reporting for Vani, the voice for change. If you want to see how the society suppresses men, watch the video. So wrong is our society, or so wrong are all of us who form a part of this society. So many times we see so many bad things happening to young boys, older men. They're part of our families, they're part of our societies. We know them as friends of family, but still we remain quiet. We are part of the oppression that these men have to undergo, and we choose to stay silent and say no more. Today, all of this needs to change. This is Vani Sood speaking for all the things that I feel are wrong happening on men. Number one, to be very honest, so many times men are also gentle, kind, polite. They tend to help. They don't mean harm. But such is the conditioning against men कि every single time अगर वो कुछ अच्छा भी करना चाहते हैं, they don't mean harm. They really truly want to help you. The world, society at large thinks that they mean harm. It is very wrong conditioning, and it truly needs to be broken. I feel as a woman that so many times our society, parents put pressure on women to get married, to maybe not look at their career, have a child, settle down. But I also feel that this pressure is also on men and boys, right? अच्छा हल्का सा कॉलेज किया, नौकरी शुरू हो गई, चलो अभी सेटल हो जाओ, चलो अभी हमें घर में एक लड़की ला दो. This pressure is real for men, और ये प्रेशर टूटना चाहिए. एक और बहुत दुखद चीज जो सिर्फ लड़कों के साथ होती है, they are not allowed to emote. Some people find it very therapeutic to go to the kitchen and cook. अरे लड़का होकर किचन में जाके खाना बनाएगा, लड़का होकर रो रहा है. You know how, जैसे मैंने पहले भी बोला था, how sissy are you acting? Please go see the Boys Don't Cry video. You will come to know that how much of an emotional trauma it is for the men to not show their emotions. Also, I have seen so many times in friends, family and otherwise, and even general public at large, that men are always supposed to have an upper hand in relationship. खाना खाने गए, बिल कौन देगा? लड़का. बाहर जाना है, गाड़ी कौन अरेंज करेगा? लड़का. It is so much pressure on the boy. मतलब they always have to be there. और अगर ना किया, you are so unmanly. अगर मैं एक word use करूँ, which I'm not a big fan of, तो मतलब हमारी society ऐसे लोगों को नामर्द कहना शुरू कर देगी. Which is the most sorry thing to do. It is crushing. मतलब बहुत गलत है, बहुत गलत. एक और चीज जो मैंने बहुत ऑब्जर्व की है, which I truly feel is so unfortunate, कि यंग लड़कों को भी ये फील होता है that they have to be provider. कल को घर कौन चलाएगा, राशन कौन लाएगा, बच्चों की स्कूल की फीस कौन देगा, गाड़ी की इंस्टॉलमेंट्स कौन देगा, घर की इंस्टॉलमेंट्स कौन देगा. The man has to provide for every single thing, and trust me, in today's world it's no easy job. Why can't you have a house husband? There are some men who are emotionally more mature. They can stay at home. They can probably do all the things that society ने label किया है कि ये ladies करेंगी. There are women who are go-getters. I mean, why this tag of being a provider? And मैं सोच भी नहीं सकती how much of a pressure ये एक young child पे भी होगा कि I have to study, I have to work, I have to get a good job because I am the provider. It is insane amounts of pressure, and it is all created by the society because nature ने तो ऐसे कोई rules हमारे लिए define नहीं किए. Now moving on to something very serious, men, boys, young boys especially, also undergo a lot of sexual assault. I've read so much of literature, I read a lot, I think a lot, and I saw starting from East Africa to Middle Africa to Asia to America, across continents, across the world, men also get violently sexually assaulted. But there is so much shame. You can't even talk about it. You can't go out in the open and say, because men are supposed to behave a certain way. ये करेंगे तो मर्दानगी है, ये करेंगे तो वो नहीं, and it's so unfair. It's so unfair. Men also are on the receiving end of domestic violence. But again, because हमारी society ने measurement के yardsticks ऐसे बनाए हैं, men का role ऐसे set किया है that if they talk about domestic violence, it is against what men are supposed to be, how men are supposed to behave. But men do undergo cases of domestic violence. We know in our society so many times in newspapers, articles and otherwise that men are illegally harassed for dowry, for rape. It is the other way around. Na karke bhi un per case lagta hai. There are certain provisions which are against them, and there are certain sections of the society जो इन रूल्स रेगुलेशंस को अनड्यूली अपने फेवर में यूज. सी दीज रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज women get harassed, but there are certain women who use them for their benefit and harass men, and they are actually उनकी बहुत ज्यादा harassment होती है, but nobody can speak about it, right? And sometimes it goes against them because यार तुम कैसे domestic violence की बात कर सकते हो, तुम कैसे sexual assault की बात कर सकते हो, you are a man and it doesn't happen to men. Men are unfortunately objectified. अब बाला मूवी को देखिए, मतलब कितना प्रेशर था on that man to get married, and you know if he doesn't have hair on his head, it was torturous for that person. So, or even in popular media, even in the Milans and the fashion shows of the week, men are also objectified, and it is there is so much pressure on them also to look a certain way. Abs hone chahiye, you should have square shoulders. You can't be a guy who's short, you can't be a guy who's skinny. There is so much pressure on them. Men are also taken as always a fix-it. कि यार कोई गड़बड़ हुई है, it's the men who will fix it. टायर पंचर हुआ है, घर में ये राशन खत्म है, right? Earning member men put so much pressure on them that eventually they are going to buckle under this pressure. I feel it is the time to raise our voice individually and collectively against all the tortures that these young boys and men have to suffer because society ki conditioning kharab hai, because nobody chooses to raise their voice against everything which is wrong. And it is collectively important for all of us to come together to support the men who want to stand up against this, to come and support a boy who wants to stay at home, to come and support a boy who wants to earn less than a woman and is happy doing so, to come and support a boy who wants to be emotionally vulnerable and show his emotions, to come out in support of a boy who's been sexually assaulted. So boys and girls, let's together build the society that we aim for. Let's together do something that we are proud of. Let's together leave a better society for our children. That is the least that we can and we should do. Let's raise our voice against all this inequality and let's work together, making a strong, just, equal and fair world. I will not give you a solution today to this like I always do in my videos. Today, I want you to question yourself and ask yourself, what can you do to change all of this? The change always starts from you, with you and within you, in your homes, in your families and in the places where you start. So today, that in the comment section, you tell me, how will you bring about a change for this very important thing? I'll be waiting to read your comments. Take care. Bye-bye.